Raider ReACTION is for mature audiences only. So if you can't stand the heat, stay away from the fire.
It's another beautiful day to be a raider, draped in the silver and black. I represent the shield, and I represent the swords. It's that time of night again, Raider Nation, and you come back. Why? Because it's time. It's time to bring the
What's up, Raider Nation? I am the Commish, coming to you live as always from Hardcore Challenge Live Studios. And where is that, might you ask? Well, let me give you some simple directions. In case it's been a minute since you've been by, I've had a few adult beverages. Whatever. It's just down the street, past the house with the boarded up windows. Make sure you stop on the corner and ask my boy Joe. He's always there, in the vicinity, maybe sleeping behind the bush. If so, wake him up gently. He's a gentleman and a scholar, as well as a man of commerce, so if you slip him what you should, he's going to point you in the right direction. He's going to tell you to take a left and then a right. And as you find yourself strolling down the street, You're going to pass a deep, dark alley to your immediate right. As you pass that alley, a cool breeze will hit you that chills you right to your skeletal core. Is it the autumn wind? You goddamn right! Should you venture down that deep, dark alley? Well, of course you should! Because what you're going to find at the end is a special little place only a very, very select few get to find. And we like to call it deep behind the enemy line. This is Raider Reaction, and as it is every Tuesday, it's the Raider Nation Report with yours truly, a solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. Mark, you'll have to tune in tomorrow to get that. Goes to the Post every Wednesday. Prime will be with me as we are going to get into deep breakdown of the conference championships. That's tomorrow on Goes to the Post. Today, it's all silver and black, and that's all we're going to talk about because it is the Raider Nation Report, as it is every Tuesday. A solid 60 minutes of everything silver and black. And we got a lot to get to tonight, and let's jump right into it. And let's start. I'm not ready to wrap up the old just yet. So, let's touch on that first, before we get into some of the news. I have a full agenda for tonight, so I'm sure if it's a topic on your silver and black brain, we're going to hit it before we get to the end, because I pretty much have all of the slate of pretty much all the big news to touch on. So let's start with 2018, the wrap-up of our 2018 season. We've talked about it. Who are the guys that stood out? Because in any season, there's positives and negatives to be taken from it. That it's no season unless it culminates in a Super Bowl can you call perfection. There's obviously things that can be corrected in it. Just as if every season that you don't reach the playoffs or you have a sub 500 record, can you call it 100% failure? Somebody stood out in that time. Well, Derek Carr, as a whole, had it's his first 4,000-yard passing season. You got to take that with a grain of salt, obviously, considering, that whole 4-12 record thing. So you got to take that into consideration. But if you look statistically across the board with where he's at, his completion percentage was actually the best in his career. Obviously, he was down in touchdowns, 19 and 10. But we did have some bright standouts. Jacob just mentioned some of them. You had Mo Hurst, who really was a nice shining star. You saw a little bit of Arden Key, but I need to see Arden Key put some more muscle and bulk up a little bit and maybe see his sophomore effort before I give a total assessment. I was more impressed with the play of Mo Hurst. I was impressed with the play of Eric Harris down the stretch. He played very well. Safety. Garyon Conley, who I had rang the praises of all offseason, was also a big positive in the 2018 effort. He had his big game, breakout game in week 4. And when they finally pushed him out there and said, all right, it's your time, he shined. Same with Carl Joseph. I seen the Carl Joseph that would light a motherfucker up. And that's the kind of safety I want. Wearing the silver and black, rocking a 42. That's what I want to see. Somebody, hey, I'll take a flag. I'll take a flag. So the next time you come across the goddamn middle, you're going to think twice about it. I'll take the 15. Fuck it. Light them up. That's the kind of safety I want to see. We got a young safety tandem there that popped up. You got Gilchrist back there with him who was kind of, it was a little bit of a bright spot as well. Some of the secondary shined. Nick Nelson you seen start to pop up a little bit. in the safety, or excuse me, in the corner position. He was popped up. He was getting mixed in a lot on different formations. Jared Cook, obviously, our brightest shining star. Jalen Richard put the fumble problem pretty much away and there until a little bit at the end of the season. But he was one of the bright shining stars. Every time the kid put the ball in his hand, he was solid. He was solid. So there were some shining stars and some nuggets that you could pick out of what was the 2018 season. You can't throw it all away. And the biggest thing you can take out of 2018, and the biggest thing I have taken out of 2018 coming into the 2019 offseason, I'm taking a sigh of relief because I believe, and I thought so anyway, but John Gruden now believes that Derek Carr is the man for the 2019 campaign. Now, of course, 4 games into the season, if we're fucking 1-3 and he's got 6 picks, all of that changes. But coming in and all the way through training camp in the offseason, I believe Derek Carr is the man for 2019, and I believe he proved that through the audition of this season. This was clearly an audition. He stripped down his talent base, John Gruden did, stripped Derek Carr's talent base, removed his safety blankets, put him in a hostile environment in his own team, and you've seen the troubles he had through the first part of the season. But regardless of the beat-up offensive line in front of him, the depleted wide receiver core that he had to play with, losing beast mode, he stayed the course and finished the season 4,000 yards passing and his best completion percentage ever. Was he a little bit frickin' captain check down? Yes, he was. Does he need to stretch the field? Yes, he does. Oh, I'm going to get to that, Craig. I told you, I got a whole list. I'm going to hit it all. Well, at the end of the season, Derek Carr was playing very well. Very well with a very weak-ass supporting cast. A patched-together supporting cast. And I believe he did enough to earn the shot in 2019. Now, let's get to the everything that's now tied to that. If Derek Carr is on the roster by the time we get there, because now all the crazy stories start to pop out, because now it's that time of year. Everybody's got to write some crazy stories. You got to post some crazy shit on your page so you can, because it's the off season, your team's dead, so you got to drive clicks. So, let's start with big rumor number 1. The New York Giants are in love with Derek Carr, and they want him to be the heir apparent to Eli Manning. Is it plausible? Sure. Is it possible? Sure. Do I think he's going to happen? No. But, like I said, I believe Derek Carr fulfilled everything he needed to do in his audition for John Gruden for 2019. But there's this thing called, listen to me now, there's this thing called an offer you can't refuse. If the New York Giants come to the table with the mindset that we have Odell Beckham, who is our franchise number 1 wide receiver and one of the top 5 in the game. We have Saquon Barkley, who's a 2-year running back phenom and could be one of the best in the league. We now need a quarterback to replace our aging 2-time Super Bowl champion. And if they're that enamored with Derek Carr that they go all in and make an offer that you cannot refuse, and they throw so many draft picks, so much money, toss a player or 2 in, and throw that on the table in front of John Gruden and say, we want him. John Gruden says, and Derek Carr's a New York Giant. Can it happen? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think there's the possibility, because now you got the Heisman Trophy winners, comes out and says, hey, I want to play some NFL football. Of course you do. Because baseball don't get your adrenaline pumping like being on the gridiron. He knows it. Everybody knows it. Baseball's the safe sport. You can go, you're not going to get CTE. You're not going to have these long lingering injuries like you do when you play professional football as opposed to professional baseball. It's a much safer paycheck. It just is. It's reality. He is declared for the draft now. He's declared for the NFL draft. So, Major League Baseball was debating as whether they were going to throw money at the guy to basically make him guarantee that he was going to play in their league. They didn't do it, so there's several other quarterbacks up around the top that, besides this kid is very slight, man. He's slight on size. He's not tall. Was he 5'9", 5'10", 185-pound category? I mean, that's not a big guy. That's not a big guy. Can quarterbacks be successful at that size? Sure. Look at Drew Brees. But is it optimal? No. It's a disadvantage. You can't say it's an advantage because it's not. So what? He's quick. Big deal. An NFL linebacker lights that ass up as he comes around the corner one fucking time and he's RG3 on one wheel. That's reality. This ain't minor league fucking football. This is the fucking big time. A small percentage of minor league football makes it in to the big dance. You can't play that little. Go ask Tim Tebow how that shit worked out. The college game doesn't transfer. Go ask Frazier from Nebraska how that shit transfer. This shit don't transfer to the NFL. There's only a certain few that can make that work. There's only a certain handful of Russell Wilsons and guys like that can make it work. There's not a lot of them. That's not the norm. That's just not the norm. So, is there a possibility, because we have a pick so high, that John Gruden jumps at one of these quarterbacks? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely, there's a possibility of that. If you haven't watched John Gruden on Monday Night Football or in his fucking, Gruden grinders and his quarterback camps and all that shit, if you ain't watched that shit and seen that this guy has a love affair with thinking he's a quarterback guru, if you ain't watched that shit, I don't know where you been. You come out from under your goddamn rock. Of course he loves the fact that he's going to get a chance to pick the next great. Not just inherit it. He wants to put his fingerprint on it. So I guarantee you, somewhere in this draft, I don't know if it's in one of these first three picks, but somewhere in this draft, he plucks a rookie to stick on this team that's got his fingerprint on it. That he's going to be in his ear on the side. And he's going to make push car and challenge car. Because football is all about competition, and John Gruden understands that. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see a veteran come into camp as well. Probably just a camp arm. It's one of those guys everybody will sign, the Radio Nation will lose their fucking mind like, oh my God, we're signing. Just a camp arm. Basically like Peterman. Just to go out there, somebody to go out there and throw interceptions to your practice squad. That's all that guy is. But Gruden, he's going to want to pick a guy. He's going to want to pick a guy. And I'm telling, somewhere along the lines of this draft, he's absolutely going to take one. But I don't think it's going to be that early. And I don't think he's going to jump at one of these. You really can't. I just don't. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Number one wide receiver. We have so many holes. So many holes. We do not have a true number one running back. We've got a lot of holes. And we're going to get to that as we're moving on. Now, trade rumors. I even heard a trade rumor. One of the other podcasts or webcasts that roll around talking about we should go out and trade for Odell Beckham. Yeah, of course we should. We should go out and trade for fucking Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, and Odell Beckham. Why don't we just get all three of them? And we'll just put together an all fucking Madden team because, fuck it. There's no budget, right? Yeah, if we live in fucking La La Land, if this is a fucking Madden league, that's all a great idea. But let's be realistic. The Giants are re-upping with him. So you think they're going to part with him now? No. They're willing to deal with that diva, so he ain't going nowhere. Antonio Brown, the hot spot for him, has now turned up, believe, in San Francisco, across the bay now. Oakland doesn't really seem to be Oakland, just Raiders, because we're not Oakland. We're just Raiders, and we'll get to that later, too. But the Raiders have, as much as they were all in the rumors, because you hear number one wide receivers out on the market, and you figure, oh, well, John Gruden's got to jump at that shit. You know, that's bait dangling. That's bait dangling. Oh, that's right. A little segue there. Speaking of the Madden League, if you haven't signed up for our Madden League yet, we still have some spots left. Message to the page. We got a PS4 league and an Xbox One league. Every division winner wins a Raider Reaction prize pack. If you win your respective league, you get an autographed Derek Carr jersey. Buy-in's only $25. It's a 16-week regular season plus the playoffs. You only have to play one freaking game a week. Our weeks will reboot every Sunday. Kicks off February 10th. Message the page so we can send you your invoice and get you secured, get you moved over into our owners group where everybody's sitting around waiting for this thing to get kicked off. Every Monday from here on out will be Madden Monday. We'll be streaming games, talking about the league, having owners on for live smack talk. So make sure you join in. The fun, $25. Super Bowl is going to be first week of July, end of June. So, man, we're going to carry this all the way through for months. So, join in, have some fun, and fill the void of being without Raider football for the next few months. And hang out. I'm in the league. Commish Jr.'s in the league. James Raiders in the Xbox League. KG Raiders in. We've got a bunch of the guys from the league are in. So, dude, damn, Raider Ortiz, that's savage, bro, savage, savage, damn. Well, we won't even go there. We'll just roll right on by that. So, now, we looked at the ballers who stepped up in 2018. The scrubs of 2018. The ones that we really thought were going to shine. The first one that jumps out at me, and yes, he was injured. Yeah. Who the fuck isn't injured in the NFL? Colton Miller, to me, was a gigantic bust in 2018. Not a bust overall, just a bust for the season. But he allowed more sacks than any other offensive lineman. He was just bad across the board. Allowed some freaking scary ass open shots on our franchise quarterback, and to me, big bust. Also in the first round, right along with him, was Brandon Parker. He did not show well in 2018 at all. Tahir Whitehead had some good games, but I would say as a whole, wasn't impressed with him. And Arden Key, I thought, was a little bit of a disappointment as well. The biggest disappointment by far for me out of the draft class is, man, a punter can be a weapon. A punter can flip field position, can help your team out in so many ways. And our punter was trash. Johnny Townsend, if he makes the goddamn roster, oh my fucking God. He should have been given his pink slip when he cleaned out his locker. As he's walking out the door, I'm like, hey, give me your fucking key and don't ever come back here. Out. You, go. Get the fuck out. Give me your key. Don't let him back in the facility, please. Please. Listen, I can go out and fucking throw up a fucking shank for 25-yard average for a hell of a lot less money than that guy. Our kicking game as a whole was a little bit of a mess. We kind of evened out there finally at place kicker, but even that was a goddamn mash unit for the most part through the season. So, Reggie Nelson, I can't even say Reggie Nelson was a disappointment because Reggie Nelson was a disappointment last year, and I knew he was going to be a disappointment this year. Didn't even want to see him. So, I'd say that's about enough time on the 2018. What it was, what it is. It was 4-12. Let's forget it and move on. He does have a strong leg. Ducati's sideways. But they always go sideways. The object is to punt the ball forward. Maybe if he stood sideways and punted, it could be like fucking Caddyshack. He could just like play his horrible fucking hook. I don't know what they were thinking on that guy. But now the biggest thing, obviously, looking forward, is free agency. I mean, that's the big date. March 13th. Mark it on your calendar. Put an X on it. A smiley face. T-Court's in the house. What's up, T-Courts? Put a smiley face on it. Mark it. That's your big date. 4 p.m. March 13th. That's when free agency kicks off. So you've got to look at, and I want to start at one of the key positions because for me, running back is huge. I see somebody, David just mentioned it. Hopes Beast Mode comes back for one more year. I agree. I would love to see a healthy Marshawn Lynch back, knowing it's his last year. He knows it's last year, and I would love to see that. But that only happens if they're playing in Oakland. That's it. Or it's not even an option. It's not even plausible. So I'm looking past that because I don't believe that's necessarily a reality. But it's a possibility. Not necessarily a reality, but a possibility. So you've got to look veteran-wise. There are some talented rookies, but I want to look at the free agents that are out there because I truly believe John Gruden will try to make a splash at the running back position in this free agency market. Obviously, the number one guy that you're going to hear the big rumors about is Le'Veon Bell. He's the guy you're going to hear all the rumors about. Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is way too much money. Too much money. We cannot afford the price tag of Le'Veon Bell. And we don't need to put that kind of attitude, that kind of me player, that kind of cancer, only guy that only thinks about himself, a guy that will show up 5 minutes before the team walks out on the field, misses all the pregame talk right before the playoffs. We don't need that kind of guy. You got Mark Ingram, Saints. Now there's an interesting one. What do you think of Mark Ingram from the Saints? Of course, Chris Warren III. But we're talking about free agents that are out there and available. Do you honestly think Chris Warren III is our starting running back in 2019? What? No. It's all cute. People want to call him Baby Bo, and he wears number 34, and he puts up a bunch of yards against second, third, and fourth string defenses. He'd never even hardly started any games in preseason. He'd come in late in the half and in the second half and put up a bunch of yards against shit defenses in vanilla schemes. I mean, come on. It was a cute story. I don't think he's that guy yet. Is he a kid that can mix in and maybe make a difference? Yes. Is he a smasher? Like you just said, Elaine, yes. He's a smasher. But his preseason yards were so inflated because a lot of them were in the second half of a preseason game? Seriously? You can't count them fucking stats. At all. At all. Was it positive what we've seen in preseason? Yes. Is it a possibility that he can fit in the mix this season? Yes. Is he our starter? No. Do we need a number one running back? You goddamn right we do. We ain't got one. Jalen Richard is not it. He's a gadget back. D. Watts is the same thing. They're like a fucking clone. No. And Chris Warren III is a young, raw, rookie banger. A big guy. You need that number one that leads all of those guys. That's what you need. Mark Ingram? Frank Gore? Old. Way too fucking old. No thank you. Adrian Peterson? Nah. Go beat your kid elsewhere. Marshawn Lynch? Now here's one I want to throw out. I've been watching this guy for 2 seasons, only because he's been on my fantasy football team, and I've been watching him more than I would normally watch other teams' running back. Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman for the Falcons is going to... So Rick was on the same page, Rick. Tevin Coleman for the Falcons. Devonta Freeman goes down, missed a lot of time this season, and Tevin Coleman was able to step in, be the number one for a good part of the season, and then when Devonta Freeman started to come back, he started to get a little less time. Tevin Coleman is not... I don't think that the Falcons are on board with Tevin Coleman being their number one, that they're going to feed the rock. That's Freeman. Now they would be happy to keep sharing the rock and be that 2-back thing, but I don't think that's what he wants. And he's a free agent, and he's young. He's young, and this is his first one. This is his first one. And this motherfucker gonna get paid. He's gonna want to make some money. Now, he hasn't established himself where he's going to get that gigantic, phenomenal payday yet, but he's going to get a good, solid payday. He's going to get a good, solid payday. I would put Tevin Coleman very high at the list of a running back you could possibly see in the silver and black. I was going there next, my man. Mario, I was going there next. Kareem Hunt. Mr. Kickin' Chicks. The fact of the matter is, as bad as the video was, it wasn't the Ray Rice video. Kareem Hunt will be suspended. I would say 4 to 6 games. But that leaves 10 regular season games. And the difference between Kareem Hunt and Ray Rice was averaging three or so yards a carry, and it was at the ass end of his career. Kareem Hunt is in the prime of his career and was a phenom on the field. And if you don't think Papa Roger and the brass in the NFL office, if you don't think they don't want to see one of their young stars back out on the field, then you don't understand business. If Ray Rice was a premier top running back, would have been a different story. Been different discussions. Kareem Hunt will play next year somewhere. I don't want him in the silver and black, though. I don't want him in the silver and black. I just don't. I don't want to have to cheer for a guy like that. I don't. Principles. Principles in the matter. I don't want to have to cheer for a guy like that. Period. Talented? Yes. Ass clown? No. What's up, Kenneth? And what's up, everybody? Each and every one of you. Mern, Hot Neil, Lines, T-Courts. All of you. Each and every one of you. Thank you, as always, for stopping in. Even if you spend just a few seconds, I appreciate any second you spend with us here at Raider Reaction. New and old, our band of pirates. Thank you. Without you all, we would be nothing. We would be nothing. So, thank you. Oh, snap! Man, Hot Neil, he ain't been around for a minute. I've been able to keep him under lock and key. Damn it. Now you got Steveljuice out running around again. God damn it. I've been able to keep him the hell out of here. Great. Now, hey, you seen, those of you that tuned in for Ghost of the Post on Wednesday, you seen we put the final dagger in the voodoo doll. And it worked. There will be no repeat champion this year. So, I think we can retire this voodoo doll. And I think we need a new one. I think next Raider Nation report I will unveil our newest voodoo doll. Because we've done enough to Philadelphia. We've done enough. Oh, a Charlie Garner type running back would be amazing. That's like a wide receiver and all mixed up. And you know what? Le'Veon Bell is almost that kind of running back. But he ain't got the attitude that Charlie Garner had. He's got a shit attitude, and I don't want that on this team. I don't want that on a team like this. I just don't. I don't want that on a team like this. Oh, the Charger loss was a thing of beauty. Because them pathetic bastards will never, ever, ever get off the kiddie table. Ever. Ever. They're right front row. Little sparkler, choking motherfuckers. You ain't never gonna get up from the kiddie table. Ever. You gonna sit right there, quiet as hell, in the corner, looking all stupid. No. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, Paul. Ghost of the Post, Wednesday. Prime is joining me. We are going to get into a full breakdown, make our picks of both of the conference championship on Ghost of the Post as we spin it through the league championship playoff edition tomorrow, and we're going to get into a full game breakdown of both those games. Now, back to free agents. Latavius Murray's also out there. Jay Ajayi as well. Bilal Powell. Javorius Allen. There are some guys out there on the free agent market. There are some guys out there. Also, I would not say, and I think this is something we're going to address in the first round of the draft, possibly even as high as our first pick. And that's the number one wide receiver position. We do not have that next 1-2 punch. We do not have AC/DC. So you don't have that Montana Rice. You don't have that guy for Derek Carr. So I think you've got to go out and try to find that guy this season. Now, when you're looking across the top free agents, I don't see that guy. I don't see that. Whoop, whoop. I don't see that guy at all on this free agent list. Because here's the rundown. Probably the number one free agent wide receiver out there is Golden Tate. Golden Tate? I mean, he's alright. But am I going to hook my franchise quarterback to that guy to be the combo that... No. Larry Fitzgerald. That dude's dusty. Old. Yeah, he's good, but old. He's not going to be your hookup for seasons to come. That they can grow together, become the elite combo. No way. Adam Humphries, Tyrell Williams, Dante Moncrief, Devin Folkness, Jordan Matthews, Tavon Austin, gadget player, Randall Cobb, gadget player, Little. That's the best of what you got on the free agent market. So that is why I'm saying you are going to go high and early, I think, with a number one wide receiver and try to find that young guy that Derek Carr can grow with for the future. We got 3 picks, Eric. Don't forget. Got magic beans. John Gruden went and got magic beans. Whether they grow into something, we don't know. But he went and got magic beans. So we will see. We will see. Now, there's a bunch of other, but I've already rolled through, way more time than I thought already. So I'm going to jump on and move along. And I'm going to get into a little more of this. But I would like to touch on, obviously, our biggest, we had no fucking pass rush at all. That was our biggest, I would say, shot. You've got DeMarcus Lawrence out there on the free agent market at defensive end. You got Ezekiel Ansah, Trey Flowers, Frank Clark. Hey, Chris Long. I like the idea of Chris Long. Bring in some lineage. And there's a guy, Julius Peppers is out there. Cameron Wake. There's some guys that you could get there. At defensive tackle, you got Grady Jarrett, Sheldon Richardson. Nadam Kasu is going to be out there available as well. Darius Philin, David Irving. There are some guys out there as well. And we'll get into more of that as the offseason rolls along. Obviously, it's a long offseason, and we've got 2 months still before we even get to the free agency period of March 13th, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, March 13th, when free agency kicks off. We got a long time before we even get to that. So let's not get crazy and get... But I did want to touch on a couple of those hot spots, because obviously our defensive line, the lack of number 1 wide receiver, the lack of really any solid depth at wide receiver, period, and running back. We've got a little depth at running back, but we don't have that solid number 1. And our depth at wide receiver scares me. Obviously, Martavius Bryant sitting on a bar stool next to Alden Smith, so he's out. Jordy Nelson is solid. Great routes, good possession receiver, great hands, does not have the speed to stretch the field deep. Dwayne Harris, great special teams guy, but doesn't really fit in as a wide receiver, as a usable, functionable wide receiver. Brandon LaFell, I liked what I seen out of him for a second, but I didn't really get to see enough to know how he's going to fit in. Rumors are Seth Roberts is out, that he is not going to be back. There was big rumors last year that Seth was going to be back, and he did make it. And again, you're waiting for Seth Roberts to have that big, to break it out. He's had some big plays. The big play in the Broncos game. He's had some big plays, but I want what Adam Gase is on, man. I don't know if I want what Adam Gase is on. That dude looked whacked the fuck out. Dude. Didn't somebody lean in and be like, hey, man, what the fuck are you doing, dude? I mean, somebody get in his ear. Jesus Christ. But running back is different. Running back and wide receiver a little different. Marcel Aitman. We still got Aitman to fix in the mix. Whether he's going to be, he's a raw project too. He's kind of along the lines of Chris Warren. Yeah, you see some talent out of him, but are you ready to hand him the reins as your number 1? Hell no, you're not. Anybody that says Chris Warren III is going to be the starting running back this season, come on, man. Let's be fucking realistic here. Those were awesome runs against 3rd and 4th string defenses in weeks 2, 3, and 4 preseason games. But yes, they're exciting. Yes, you see some talent out of these kids. Yes, they're projects though. They're projects. And we ain't got time for projects at number 1. We got to go get the number 1, and these guys can work behind them and learn and get better and hopefully be something someday. But they're not the number 1. They're just not. They're just not the number 1. They're not. Oh, there's 2 of you tonight, Leslie. 2 of you. I tell you. It's a nut house up in here. So we got the purple drink. Got some purple drink? Get out of here, Jawalrus. All right. Enough of them shenanigans. He looked positive. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited about what the prospect is of seeing Chris Warren III get in there and get a whole season, but he's not a number one. He's just not. I mean, he's just not. So let's get to one of the biggest topics that is obviously, we're the Raiders. But we're not the Oakland Raiders. We're not the Tucson Raiders. We're not the San Diego Raiders. We're not anything. We're just the Raiders right now. Because technically, we do not have an address to call home to play football in 2019. Today, all over the sports threads and the news feeds were report. Dun dun dun. Breaking news. Raiders and City of Oakland to talk one last time. Will the Raiders play in Oakland in 2019? Will they? Well, Mark Davis says, I don't even know what you're talking about. That meeting ain't on my calendar. They must be talking amongst themselves. I'm not going to be there. There'll be no Raiders there. So is this a meeting of Oakland internals and their sports authority and be like, hey, let's reach out to them maybe one last year? I mean, honestly, I look at it this way. Oakland and its city officials, its mayor, its city council, pretty much all of its city government that has been any of the decision-making process over the past couple decades that could have got something done to keep the Raiders there permanently has failed and failed their constituents miserably. Miserably. And if you could do one last thing as a my God, we're losing them forever. If we could just give them one last season, if we could just suck up our pride a little bit and give them just one last season because we did fuck our constituents, the people that have all voted us in, that have trusted us for 2 decades to hopefully we would get this done, and we didn't. We tripped over ourselves, pissed down our leg, shit all over themselves repeatedly, couldn't get nothing done. Don't you think they should do that? Maybe that's what this meeting's about. Maybe this is a popping your head out of your ass meeting and be like, we owe the fans of Oakland this one last season. We couldn't get it done, and that ship has sailed. But we owe the fans of Oakland one last season. I'd like to see it. I don't want to see us be a vagrant bastard team for 1 year. I don't. I don't want to see 2019 as the wayward lost season of the Raiders. I don't. Vegas is not ready for us. Everybody that keeps saying, oh, it's playing UNLV. Listen, that fucking stadium ain't ready. They would have started renovations a long time ago to get that stadium even NFL ready. It's not up to media standards. You can't even televise a fucking game from there via NFL standards. Red Zone channel and everything that fucking goes along with it. It's not up to security requirements. It's not up to seating requirements. It just so many reasons that doesn't work. Vegas is not ready, facility-wise, to house an NFL team right now, today. 2020? Yes. 2019? No. So it's not a viable option. You've heard Tucson. They could play at the Cardinal Stadium. Have an AFC and an NFC team in there. It's doable. It's closer to Vegas. I don't think that's a bad idea because it starts putting you somewhere in the general vicinity of your fan base. San Diego? Fuck that. I don't like that idea at all. I don't. That's choker country. I know. Not even for 1 year. I'm sorry if you live in San Diego. I'm sure you'd be all about it, but no. I don't want to see him in the Niners. I don't want to see him in San Francisco. There's none of the other options that really appeal to me. The Arizona option was probably the one I've liked best thus far. I guess. So, we'll see. It's obviously this is going to be the biggest and one of the hottest topics of conversation. Because we need to know what we are. What are we? We know we're Raiders. And that'll always be. But are we the Tucson Raiders? The San Antonio Raiders? The London Raiders? The Egyptian Raiders? The Orlando Raiders? San Diego Raiders? I think there's a good possibility of it, Dale. I really do. I think when it comes down to it and you realize that this is it. Listen, this divorce is going to be final. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's suck it up and put a smile on for the kids. That's what this needs to be. The divorce is happening. Mom and dad need to put a fucking smile on their face for the kids. And be cordial. Because the only ones that are going to really get punished are the fans that have been season ticket holders in Oakland for years. You're not going to give them one more season. You're not going to give them a last hurrah. It didn't get properly finished up this season because nobody thought it was really the last until towards the end of the season when everything all started to go to shit. That's all Oakland wants, Jason. They just want the money. They're trying to get compensation on the way out the door. That's it. Pay old bills, and that's all it's really about. They know they fucked up. They know they let it get gone. They know it's too late, and now they've got to move on. So, we will see. But, man, there's going to be new rumors every fucking day. Just roll with the punches, and, don't get too crazy and don't believe a lot of this bullshit because a lot of it's just drama. And it's going to continue. Tom Flores. One more step to being into the Hall of Fame. February 2nd, they will announce if he makes it into the final group of gentlemen that are going to get into the Hall of Fame, get to wear the jacket and have the bust. It's been long deserving, and I'm hoping to hell Coach Flores makes it in. But February 2nd, that's the day we're going to find out if the man finally gets his due just. Now, I like to wrap up every one of my little Raider Nation reports with a special little segment that I like to call the WTF. Now, today's WTF, I'm going to touch on playoffs and playoff football and all that goes along with it. Now, you're all just like me, Raider fan. Your team ain't in the playoffs. So how do you conduct yourself on the weekend when the games are on in a tactful manner as a respectful Raider fan? Well, number one, and I heard so much of this, and I'm glad they're all fucking gone. Well, I'm rooting for, I just like to see the old guys, Mac. I really want to see Mac. No. I really hope Cooper does. No. What about No. When a player leaves, they leave. They are now a player for the other team. You don't root for them anymore. If you want to take their jersey and hang it in the back of your closet and pull it back out when they retire and now rock it as a throwback, you can do that. Like, I got a Mac jersey. That shit's hanging at the back. I'll never wear it again until he retires. And then it'll be a throwback. But until now, he's a fucking bear. I don't root for that guy. For those fans that well, so my team's out, I'm going to root for the... No. You don't root for other teams. Period. You take joy in the misery of others. For example, New England, San Diego. Do I take even an ounce of fucking joy in the fact that New England was slaughtering somebody? Hell no! Fuck that! I'm not rooting for the fucking Cheatriots. No way in hell. But I will take great joy in the misery of watching a fucking kiddie table dweller like the fucking chokers and the sparklers get absolutely fucking destroyed. I will enjoy that. I enjoy watching the dreams of others get crushed because ours has already been crushed. But you don't root for other players on other teams. You don't root for other teams because yours is eliminated. No. No way in hell. Fuck that. You rock and rep your team. If I go to a playoff party, what am I going to do? Am I going to go there and cheer? Oh, come on, I want to see. Fuck that. I'm wearing my Raider shit, and I'm going to stand right there and say, fuck your team, fuck your team. I hope your quarterback fucking breaks a leg. I hope you fucking... No. I don't even want either one of you to lose. Win. I don't want you both to lose. If it is possible. Can you both score 0? Can the field just swallow and eat you both? You don't root for other teams just because your team's eliminated. That is almost the definition of a fucking bitch-ass bandwagon fan. Is you're a front runner. You're a front runner fan. Those are the worst fucking kind. You're the one you're cheering on a new team every year. I really like them Rams. Yeah, of course you do, because they're good now. Oh, I don't know. Listen. Rep your team. Win or lose. What the fuck? We have a Madden League that is kicking off February 10th. The Raider Reaction 2019 Off-Season Madden Challenge. We've got a PS4 League as well as an Xbox One League. Message the page. Get your spot now. All division winners get a Raider Reaction prize pack. If you win one of the leagues, you get an autographed Derek Carr jersey, as well as some other nice parting gifts. All for just a $25 buy-in. 16-week regular season plus the playoffs. You only have to play one game a week. Every Monday will be Madden Monday. We'll be streaming live games, live smack talk from the owners, and we'll be dedicated just to the league. So make sure you get in. Message the page right now. It's filling up. Once you pay your $25, you're locked in. We add you into our closed owners group as you get ready for the league. 2/10, it's going to kick off. Make sure you get your names in there. We had a few more that popped in right before the show. I've already got them their invoices sent. Once you pay, you're in. Don't wait around. People are messaging the page every day. These are not going to stay. So if you want to get in, don't be that guy that's sitting there at the beginning of February when we kick off the league and you're like, damn, I missed out. Yeah, you damn fucking right you did, because you waited too long. So message the page, get in on it, because, all you'd say how much you can whip my ass at Madden. Well, let's fucking see it. Let's see it. Breathe. I'm out. Thank you for joining me, each and every one of you. Our band of pirates. Thank you. I'll be right here tomorrow night as we break down the championship games and make our picks with myself and Prime for Ghost of the Post. Until then, Raider Nation. Peace, love, Raider Nation!